You are listening to Take Note, where we feature local musicians you should take note of. Coming to you live, you're hearing the voice of May, a communication student at the Adventist University of the Philippines, a professional singer at her bedroom, and your award winner since 2002 of the Best Singer in Her Bathroom. Today we have a special guest, a singer-songwriter from Silang Cavite who have written for various star music artists and social media influencers, Kean Lockes.
Hi, thanks for having me today.
So to start our questions with him, when and how did you start with music?
So that's actually a pretty good question. I can say that I've always loved singing ever since I was little. I remember the first time that I sang in public was when I was 3 years old in a church. Growing up, I've always been surrounded with harmonies and melodies because my grandmother was always like a fond of, singing gospel songs and all of that. But growing up, I started to find my own voice and I started to find my own taste in music, and that's what really led me to create my own songs because I've really been inspired by these musics that I've been listening to. The first song that I actually started to write was when I was in a taxi cab while going home from SM Mall of Asia. So I was just writing this like tune in my head and then started writing it down in my notepad, which I think I still have. And then from there, I uploaded it and then like experimented with, like making instrumentals. And then from there, I uploaded it to YouTube. And then my first official upload to like Spotify and other streaming platforms was in 2020 at the start of the pandemic. I started writing my song Photographs, which is available for streaming.
So what made you interested in music? Like, do you have like any inspirations and stuff like that?
As I've said, I've always had inspirations with like different forms of music. I remember the first album that I've listened to was Kesha's Animal. It was the first full-length album that I've listened, and then from there I started experimenting with other forms of music because back in high school, music was such a big thing and a big part of my life. So I guess my inspirations would really be like I really like stacking harmony. So Ariana Grande is like such a huge part of that. Also get huge inspirations from like Korean R&B music. So like Dean Hosier.
Any struggles on starting? Like, what did you do to overcome, as a starting in like music industry? Did you have any struggles?
Since I started literally from scratch, an independent songwriter, I really didn't have any knowledge when it comes to like promoting my own songs, even with the basic of it with just like making my own music. But I started experimenting with my first digital audio workstation, which is FL Studio. That's where I started like making my own beats like during my free time in college, and then from there I would say that's where I really struggled for the longest time. That's why I didn't really even upload anything because I was still trying to work on the basics of it. And then from there, the next struggle was like finding a microphone. Actually, fun fact, my song Photographs I recorded entirely with my iPhone. So that's why it sounds cranky. But you have to work with what you have, and I think that's the best lesson you can get from being an independent songwriter is you learn as you go along, and it's always okay to make mistakes. It's just very important to learn from your past, past experiences and improve. So, yeah.
So, your music, do you have like any message to it, or what is the general like message of your music you usually try to carry out through your audience?
Well, as a member of the LGBTQ community, I'm a queer person myself. I just see a lack of representation in the local music industry. Like, there's a few people that I can point out that are openly gay or openly lesbian, openly trans even, that writes music. Some of those are my friends. But yeah, that really was my goal, like going in. The first song that I wrote was actually Boy in Love. Is a love letter to like this boy I liked back in college. So that was the inspiration for that song. And then with photographs as well, I started to, like really incorporate pronouns, just to make sure that the person, the people that will be hearing my music will say, oh, he's talking about a boy. And the goal is to really just like normalize it, to make sure that other queer people that are looking for representation when it comes to music can also relate to my music. So that really is like my priority in everything.
How was like the general public response to your music? Like, as you said, like you were growing up with gospel songs. Are there any struggles that you faced, like putting out that kind of music, which is very like a sensitive topic until even today, with like older people and stuff like that?
Yeah, I would say if it came from strangers, most probably it's better that way because some of my audiences are actually introduced to me by doing like cover songs of what we call Boys Love or BL drama series. So my highest streams are actually from those songs that I've created. It is a little bit difficult if it comes from like from people that you personally know, especially like from my religious background. I grew up as a Seventh Day Adventist, but I really started to find my own voice through that. But other people still can't understand it, and it's fine. If that, again, like music is very you know tailored to your own liking. So if you don't like my music, that's fine. That's totally fine. I'm just glad that there are people who listen to my music, and that's what's important.
So the genre that you started first, is it still the genre that you do today?
Yes, I actually would say that my genre is like a huge inspiration from Korean R&B, as I said earlier. And and yeah, I think I started experimenting with my first EP, my first self-produced EP, Soft Boy Diaries. I started experimenting with OPM sounds, incorporating like ukulele and like basic harmonic, structures from like old OPM songs. But yeah, that was just an experiment. I'm still doing like R&B songs, pop R&B songs. In fact, my future release, which we are gonna reveal later, is like definitely has a pop R&B song. It's pop R&B song. It's really prominent.
So what was the first song that you released?
The first song that I officially released is called Photographs.
Can you sing like a little snippet of it, like a 30-second snippet of it?
Sure. Um, Looking through photos, it brings back memories, don't they? Don't they? Eh. Trying to remember what every picture would say, you would say. So I threw it all and burn it away. These photographs won't save me today. When it all makes sense, I'll figure it out. That my photograph was all I'm about. I'm letting you go.
Very, very nice. That's deserve a very round of applause. And do you have any struggles until today? Like even you have been releasing music for quite a while.
Yes. So as an independent songwriter, even if I've already worked with like huge names in like star music industry, I'm still treated as like a ghostwriter, so I really can't talk about it. I've written for like other social media influencers, written for like ads and all that stuff. So it's really hard to get my name out there because of that. So I'm really trying, the current struggle right now is really trying to build my own name from the bottom up. I'm just hoping that someone will just recognize my talent and, respects my goal in where I want to take my music and hopefully make it big and, like have a lot of people hear my music. So yeah, I guess that would be the struggle as an independent songwriter. Like, there's really nothing, or I mean, it's not nothing. It's just that, like, there's few lesser chance of you like being discovered. So yeah.
So you have mentioned you have written like music for this artist. Was it fun? Like, are there any struggles?
Yeah, of course, we can't mention names. It's just, like, the way I write songs for other people is basically through their experience. So it's like a shared experience. I find a common ground for like a certain topic to talk about. One song that I actually wrote is a remix of an already popular song. So my like signature touch to my music is always gonna be like rap singing. So like you rap but you sing at the same time. So instead of just like talking fast, you like sing fast. And that's where I always find inspiration. So they give me a topic and then like I find words to, like rhyme and something that sounds interesting to the ears, even if it doesn't make sense. As long as it sounds good to the ears, then I'm good with that. Like, that's really my building block, going to, write music for like strangers.
So with your personal music, do you have any plans in like switching genre? Like maybe we can hear pop more like you said you do pop R&B. Like do we have like ballads or something like that? Can we hear it maybe on the future? Do you have any plans to transition genre and explore?
As of now, not really, because like I'm really into like minimalist, like chill, like music that you can listen to while you're studying, or like music that you can listen to while like driving and all that stuff. So, the best music for that I think is pop R&B or like Korean R&B. So I think not really for now, but I do want to explore like disco maybe in the future, like disco funk. Yeah.
So you said that you have a future song coming out. Can we talk about that for real quick?
Yeah, so my upcoming song is entitled Malagkit. I really thought hard about like naming the song, because the idea of the song is you have this someone that's stuck in your mind, even if it didn't work out, there's still a piece of you, or there's still a piece of them that's stuck in you. So that's why like it was either glue or malagkit, but since the song is like in Tagalog, I just decided to go with a Tagalog title, Malagkit.
So can we actually play a sneak peek of what people will be hearing from this release?
Yeah, sure. I'll be happy to have you guys hear it. You'll really love it. It's a really good song.
O bakit ang puso'y lumalapit kung ako'y di iniisip at iniwan? Bakit ba nakakaganito? O bakit sa tuwing ika'y tumitingin, tumitibok ang puso ko? Why did you...
Thank you so much for that wonderful song. That song is it's very vibey for me. It's very, as you said, it's very chill, it's very laid back. Like it makes you happy while like you feel in love, like even though you don't have someone like really like a person, but I think that's what's great about music, that even if you don't really experience it, once someone is really good about writing it and expressing it to like their songs, it makes you feel good as well. It makes you feel fall in love as well, and it's very killing for me.
Yeah, and that's the most important part of music, is like finding a common ground, like a common topic that someone have gone through. So even if you don't necessarily, or you didn't necessarily go through with that at the moment, but if you've gone through with that, or have watched a movie that made you feel that way, then that's why like music is always therapeutic, and it always feels good when like you can relate to a certain song.
Since you have mentioned earlier that you have been a singer-songwriter for how many years again?
I actually just started last November. It was for, I can say this, it was for Binibining Pilipinas. And then yeah, that's my first like writing songwriting gig basically.
So, with all of the releases that you did, do you have any struggles about finding inspiration or like having a topic to like write about or like to talk about?
Um, Not really, cause whenever like a producer approaches me for like a song, um, sometimes they already have like melody. So if there's a melody, it is, you know, like harder because you have to like really write basing off of that melody. However, if they give me like complete freedom to write the song, then that's like better, I guess.
While writing these songs, like on the process, do you have like artist blocks and stuff like that, that there is like a section where, oh, I don't really know what to like write, or like what instruments should I put in? Do you have an experience like that?
Yeah, it's always like that, especially if like I'm writing for a boy, like talking about a girl, because it's really like a different experience for me. Like as a more of a feminine guy, it's like easier for me to be emotional on my songs. But with guys, like, you know, there's this masculine perception that you have to be like really tough to get the girl. So sometimes I can not relate to it, but what I do is if like for example if a song talks about like, oh, this like guy wants to get the girl, then I watch like a movie or two about it, or like listen to a song by a rapper that talks about like women and all that stuff. Well, not in a sexualized manner, but you know, you get what I mean. Like it's just you find yourself in those situations that you really have to emulate the person that you're writing for, because if you don't, then it will really come as ingenuine and it's not gonna be good music.
So, are there any tips that you can give to the aspiring musicians out there about, starting music, starting their own career and stuff like that? Because especially this pandemic, there's a lot of artists that has been releasing their own, and with those new ones in the market, like other people who want to start as well is afraid, because maybe what if, there are fears that they have. So do you have any inspirations for them? Any tips you can give it to them?
Yeah, well, the only thing that I can say about that is I'm gonna say one of my favorite quotes would be, the only way out is through. So if you really want to pursue something, you really have to go through it. If you fail, then that's okay. That's not what's important. The most important part is having someone having people listen to your music and basically like inspire them. So if you want to start making music just to be famous or make money, then that's not really, I mean, it's great for people who can do that, but for most of us independent artists, especially for me, it's not like that all the time. Sometimes it will get noticed by like Spotify or iTunes, but you know, sometimes it doesn't, and that's okay. It's just really, you just really have to put your passion forward and make sure that every craft you make is authentically you. Otherwise, it will really not, you know, it will not capture the people, because they will see the fakeness through your music. So always be genuine. um, Start by maybe looking up, you know, free beats on YouTube. Like try to write songs and try to improve on your lyrics based on those free beats. And if you have money, you can buy those and sing on top of it. But if not, then try, you know, like working on digital audio workstations. Like get free ones like GarageBand and whatnot. Just make sure to practice your craft. And then, you know, if you have courage, then upload and record, and you know, leave it to the rest of the world for them to find your music.
So yeah, with the quote, like the only way out is through, is such a powerful quote. Like even in us communication student, I guess we also have fears of what if no one will notice our work, or like when we write articles, will anyone write it, or will anyone read it? Like when we release our podcast, are they really, no? It's good that you know, releasing something is kind of a practice as well. Like if the reply is not is not the best, you have a chance like improve it and improve it and improve it. So with the upcoming release of your new music, are there any guests or like features we might hear with you?
Yeah, I'm actually currently in the works of releasing or being featured actually in one of my upcoming in one of my friends' upcoming single. He is like a new artist as well. His name is Heaven. We met online. So that's one of my collabs that are actually already like set in stone. I'm trying to write music and do a duet. I'm just like finishing stuff, but a TikTok star is actually gonna be featured in one of my songs very soon, hopefully, and another like Filipino artist also that is currently in Vietnam. Like I'm working with her. Hopefully with another guy from Japan who is also like a Filipino YouTuber. I'm just trying to reach out, and I'm just like trying to structure everything first before like I go through with it. Make sure that it's ready before I present it to them.
Yeah, that's very exciting. We cannot wait to hear all of those music. Are there any artists that you are eyeing to collaborate with? Like who's your goal and stuff like that?
Right now one of my favorite artists like locally is Paul Pablo. He's also like a queer musician from Davao, I believe he's from. So I really would want to work with him. Other than that, let's see. Like maybe Nadine Lustre or like James Reid. Yeah, maybe like anyone from like a like a celebrity turned musician who like is in support of the LGBTQ community. That's why I said Nadine, because like she's a huge supporter and a huge ally for the community as well. So it would be an honor if like we get to write a song and perform.
So there you have it, Kean. Can you tell our audiences where they can find or they can listen to your music?
Yeah, so you can find my music in all major music platforms. That's Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, Google Play Music, YouTube. Just look for Kean Lockes. I'm gonna be there. Also, my Twitter, Instagram, and my Facebook is @Kean Lockes, and follow me.
Napapansin ang pagbabago ng mga kislap sa iyong mga mata. Nagdadalaw ang isip ka na naman, mukha mo'y di na maipinta. Asahang may naghihintay, tanggapin ang iyong sarili, wag mamadaliin ang lahat. Kumapit sa pangakong magiging masaya, ang mundo ay iyong-iyo na. Ako'y nasa dulo lang ng bagari, nandirito nagbabaka sakaling ang iyong puso'y handa nang tanggapin lahat ng aking pagmamahal. Kinalimutan mo ba mga pangako ko na ipaglalaban kita sa buong mundo? Ginagawa ko ang lahat para ikaw ay magtiwala, pero ang mga demonyo sa iyong una nababahala. I've been there before and didn't choose nobody. Our friends so alone and didn't know somebody. Abutin ng aking mga kamay dito sa bahagari, bibigyan ng kulay. Ikaw ba ay nagtatago? Damn, I'm really sorry to be here like that, but you have to understand that there's some pressure. Take your time, and when you're ready, really ready, you'll find people na hanggang sa pagpahan ka sa gusto mo. Because you better remember to me, it's a loving to you. Remember to live a little bit, a little shit sa mundo. Hintayin kita sa dulo. Asahang may naghihintay, tanggapin ang iyong sarili, wag mamadaliin ang lahat. Kumapit sa pangakong magiging masaya, ang mundo ay iyong-iyo na. Ako'y nasa dulo
you so much, Kean, for being on the episode of Take Note. Once again, this is Take Note, where we feature local musicians you should take note of. Take it away, Kean.
Nananaginip, nakatingin sa bintana, nananalangin, nakatulala sa mga tala na magiging akin. Kasana kang sa pagtanda, kung pipiliin mo lang sana. Nakakandara pa, nanginginig ang katawan pag ika'y lumapit. Para bang di na makahinga, namimilipit ang tiyan pag ika'y kausap na. Pipiliin mo lang sana. Bakit ako ang tinamaan ni Cupido? Lintik na to, umaasa na naman ako. Hanggang sa isip ka lang ba, sana'y maging katotohanan na. Kung pipiliin mo lang sana. Sa tingin na dami-daming tao dito sa mundo, ewan ko nga ba bakit pa ako nahulog sa'yo. Tinalo pa ang CCTV sa lihim na tingin, sadyang hindi mo lang siguro napapansin. Oo, ang buhay nga naman laging nananadya, kala mo'y tinada na yun pala sinusumpa. Kung pipiliin mo lang sana. Ay, bakit ako ang tinamaan ni Cupido? Lintik na to, umaasa na naman ako. Hanggang sa isip ka lang ba, sana'y maging katotohanan na. Pipiliin mo lang sana. Bakit ako ang tinamaan ni Cupido? Lintik na to, umaasa na naman ako. Hanggang sa isip ka lang ba, sana'y maging katotohanan na. Kung pipiliin mo lang sana. Hanggang sa isip ka lang ba, sana'y maging katotohanan na. Kung pipiliin mo lang sana. Ako'y piliin mo na sana. Sana naman oras na humanap na ng iba. Sana huwag kalimutan na piliin ang kaligayahan. Ba't parang ikaw pa rin ang laman ng puso ko? Di na maalis sa isipan. Palagi na lang gising hanggang sa hating gabi. Tinitinan ng orasan upang ikaw ay hilingin. Maririnig kaya ako ng langit? O bakit ang puso'y lumalapit kung ako'y di iniisip at iniwan? Bakit pa nagkakaganito? O bakit sa tuwing ika'y tumitingin, tumitibok ang puso ko? Why did you treat me so good? Kaya walang galit sa'yo. I would have loved it if you would. Or maybe it's for the better. You never came with the red flag, so I resonated with all your energy, all the vibes in the world can now match. We were a couple of strangers, a lovers of strangers. Stranger, I love you without feeling danger. And now I'm all alone in bed, can't seem to get you out of my head, babe. Oh, bakit ang puso'y lumalapit kung ako'y di iniisip at iniwan. Bakit ba nagkakaganito? O bakit sa tuwing ika'y tumitingi, tumitipok ang puso ko? Like nung ika'y malagkit, I hate the feeling but I love and it's this. When will these feelings wear off, we'll never know. For now you're stuck like glue, dikit na sa'yo. I'm like glue, ika'y malagkit. I hate the feeling but I love instead. When will these feelings wear off, we'll never know. For now you're stuck like glue, dikit na sa'yo.